There, it's red this time. Hey.
It is in fact.
We are at the top of Elk Mountain. We drove over an hour to get here. We've got this crappy view behind us. Again, this is another in the back of the truck. We have our guest, the Wyoming Wind, and our other guest, Salo Kimble.
Hello.
Again, go to YouTube if you want to see just where we're at. And honestly, you're going to want to see it because it's beautiful. And we have this new series. And I don't know if it's a series. It's just I'm not going to let excuses stop me from getting podcasts done. So I'm ready at literally any location I'm at. And we had this idea of potentially doing Stranger Beings, where I just Salo drives me around in the truck, and then I just holler out to people, jump in the back of my truck, and I'm going to interview you on my podcast. Kayla was saying, hey, we call it Stranger Things. We have a sneaking suspicion there might be a copyright issue there. So we're just having fun, but I've got Salo Kimble with me. He just graduated high school, and he decided to take the road less traveled, and he moved to Colorado in the final year of his high school. It was completely easy, leaving your friends. There's no awkward moments, correct?
Zero awkward. It's probably the easiest thing you can do in your entire life. Like, if you have the opportunity to uproot your life, move to a different state for your last year of high school, do it.
Yeah, especially if you only have one left. Like,
yeah.
You know, your senior year, you don't
gotta make it fun.
You don't do anything important in your senior year, right?
Nothing is. Yeah, especially if you've been like in that high school and like elementary school all the way up, and you know those kids, like, you don't want to graduate with them.
No.
Go find a random group of people to graduate with.
Well, needless to say, he took the road less traveled. He's a musician himself. You've been playing saxophone for a long time.
Yeah, going on 5 years.
Going on 5 years, and now you are in KMG.
I sure am.
And you just you couldn't really decide, so you just said, I'm going to take all of the programs.
Yeah, that's how it went. I'm like, I want to do this, but I want to know how to do this. And I think that could be fun to know how to do too.
So just do everything.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, so what's your favorite one so far?
It either have to be rad or amp, and that's just mainly because the DJ fade is pretty fun, but I'm just not at that point to where I'm going to be going out and DJing yet. So it's something I'd like to know how to do, but not what I need to know how to do now.
Got it.
And I've always wanted to learn production and be in that. So amp's great for that. And then, I mean, I've been around here for what, 4 years?
Four-ish.
And it's just everyone is always engineering. I'm like, I feel like I should learn how to do that.
Yeah, well,
it's a lot of fun.
Well, we were in the camper last night. We set up two Ableton, and neither one of us are super good at Ableton. He's actually already better than I am, and so I was asking, well, what is this? What is this? But I mean, we're exploring it as a family, which is super fun. And I talked about this in the most recent podcast with my wife, where we were on the backside of another mountain. You're just, it seems like you're always down to have my back. And if I have some crazy idea, you're ready. You're in the car before I am, ready to take on the challenge. Where do you think that comes from?
It's purely selfish reasoning. If you say, hey, let's go do, I don't know, I was going to try to think of something witty, but I couldn't do it. But I mean, I'm always there to hop on and be like, all right, let's do this. I'll help you out with it. For the fact that, like, hey, maybe later, if I ask to do something, I can do it.
There you go.
No, not really, though. Honestly, I don't know. Like, the stuff, like the random stuff, like you like do in like an instant, be like, hey, we're gonna go figure out how to do this, and like it's never boring, and it's like it's hard, but it's not like a bad hard. Like, it's fun. We keep it entertaining. We have fun with it, and
that's called the hustle.
So always got to be on the hustle.
We're installing and instilling the hustle muscle into Salo. I'd say from when you came up and started, I don't know if we've ever put it on the podcast, but we will. Salo and I have a famous lawnmower story.
It's been on. No, not this podcast. It's been on a podcast, hasn't it?
I don't know. It was on the Homeless Millionaire.
No, yep.
There's another podcast that we have that just kind of helps you understand how I got from Arizona to Colorado. If you look it up, it's called The Homeless Millionaire. There is a fantastic story about Salo mowing a 3-acre lawn that he was just super pumped for.
It's great.
It's a push mower,
An electric push mower.
in the rain.
It did start raining. You just got to go check it out to know the full story. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But now it's really interesting because I'm getting feedback from obviously my mom, who's your grandma, and people around you watching how much you're growing. And I know that your favorite thing to do is talk about yourself, and you're not shy at all.
No.
But just what has it been like just in the 4 years, knowing, especially when you look at a picture of you 4 years ago, not just from a look standpoint, because when you look at a picture, it kind of takes you back there, and you're like, whoa, I was a different person. And I thought differently. I went about my life differently. What is it like now when you're kind of going through life? You're getting ready to build your life. You've got a couple credit cards now, which is crazy. You have a great credit score. You bought your own car. You're doing all these things that you just, like, when you were talking to me, you're like, I didn't think I was ever going to be able to do that.
No.
But just tell me a little bit about your growth. And I know that you just love talking so much, but I'm going to put you on a tiny bit of the spot. But just like, how is it to have your mind set change so much from early on to now?
It's kind of crazy. Like looking back and like thinking about it, like if you know me, you know, like me, like not exactly being friends, but like liking a human I can do, but like wanting to be around them, like I have to like you to want to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I'd like 14-year-old me if I think about it. It's just, I'm being honest. Like, I was, yeah.
I did not see it going there. I did not see it. Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, I've changed a lot.
Wow. That was awesome.
I'm still super, like, conscious and self-conscious and shit like that.
Yeah.
But not nearly to the extent of what I was. I'm super happy with where I am and what I'm doing. I know I'm going to go on and do better stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
I'm
always
not
growing.
Yeah, my growing is not stopping here.
That's awesome.
But I'm definitely happy it's happened.
So you and I have talked a lot about overcoming, and we've talked a lot about helping other. I mean, I speak at a lot of high schools, and there was one time. So I wish you guys could know Salo the way that I do, because he really is he's a magical human being. It's true. And if there was one thing that happened recently where he was telling me, so I'm telling him, hey, you've got to use your strife as a way to inspire other kids, and you've got to this, and the thought and idea of him speaking in front of other people, he was just, you are absolutely insane. And then he wrote an essay, spoke in front of his class, and then the other day when we were talking about things that he might grow into and do, he was talking about the fact that he's like, and some of the speaking stuff, and going and helping people out, and like, you're growing, buddy. Like, what's going on? This is amazing.
I don't know. I never thought I would be someone who wanted to speak in public, or like, I mean, I'm impressed that I'm
talking right now with a microphone.
Speaking so well in front of a microphone right now.
And there's a camera.
This is going to go up for him to hear. And I'm not nearly as nervous as I thought I was going to be.
We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, but it's just, I have always had trouble in like a spotlight situation. Like, I'm like super stage fright, like nervous. I mean, I still don't. Like, I'm not there yet to where I could go hop on a stage and talk to people. But
it's
like,
just on the radar.
Yeah, maybe eventually.
Maybe. I digress. So some of the things, I mean, obviously you've gone through a lot in your life, but one of the things, and we're not going to dive into it just because it's something that unpack it and unpack it properly is a little it's a little too much, but you've become this happy person who has these aspirations and everything, and you were someone who was in the Aurora Theater shooting. And unfortunately, that's like life gives you this baggage that no matter what you do, you have to carry that with you everywhere you go. You can't unknow that, unsee that, unexperience that. And you've become this person. Oh, there's that word again. If you've listened to the podcast, there's this word become. But he's become this person who is strong enough to want to help other people. But most importantly, he was strong enough to start helping himself. And I just want to say a huge shout out to you, because I've been literally front row and center of watching you become this amazing person. See, the wind even agrees.
Hello, Wyoming.
The wind is like, dude, this guy, literally, he's a special person. It's just the wind's giving it up for you. But I just want to say the fact that you are becoming this person and you've come as far. And if you guys know Salo, I want you, like, Salo_KMG Life is his handle on Instagram. Hit him up.
Follow me, man.
Start understanding who this kid is, because I'm telling you, he's number one, super special, but it's so interesting to see how far he's become and to see the impact that he's making at the company in my life. And I've got to see what's happened in 4 years, and I think it's only getting better. It's only getting bigger. And I only have more trust and faith and confidence in him. So honestly, just super good job. And I know you're great when someone gives you a bunch of compliments. You're great at being like, thanks.
That's about all I got.
Yeah. Well, I just want I want everyone to know kind of and I mean, obviously we alluded to some of the craziness, but that's 5% of what this kid's gone through. And the reason I just mention it is more if the wind is also mentioning. See, the wind is like, dude, this, like, that's just the wind giving Salo applause. High five. Wouldn't that be crazy if the wind just stopped? But honestly, if you're out there, you listen to the podcast, maybe I'm too intimidating or this, that, and the other, and you just want to, the way to Salo's heart we have found is a breve latte. So if you want to go see if he wants to go grab a coffee with you and talk about things he's gone through in his life, because I'm telling you, he's using his past as something that can help people, maybe following a little bit in his uncle's footsteps.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Tiny Berto. But yeah, honestly, I'm super proud of this kid. And I'm telling you, this podcast is going to be kind of that sign, that road sign that we stick in the ground, and we're going to be able to look in another 4 years, and we're going to say, hey, do you remember when you were this kid? And you're like, you know what? I don't know if I'd want to hang out with 18-year-old me.
Hey. 18-year-old, you like hanging out with 18-year-old me.
I'm not going to lie. I'd say next to my wife, he's my best friend. I love him, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, no.
A lot of shenanigans.
I definitely agree. I think we'll be able to look back and be like, remember that first time you were on a podcast? And like, I'll have my own or something like that.
Yeah, he's gonna have his own podcast. He's gonna be crushing stages. Wait, you just said I might have my own or something.
Or something.
Salo Kimble just said I might have my own podcast. Those words came out of his mouth, not mine. Anyway, thank you, Salo, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And hanging out in the back of a truck. You know, it's just it's pretty awesome. So anyway, this has been the Final Percent podcast.
The Final Percent.
You timed that perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. All right, thank you guys. We will talk to you soon.